All right. Okay. So I first want to talk about what these success partners are for, if you guys don't know. So each of you are paired up with somebody. I think there's a group of you that have 3. And so what they're for is you guys are just going to be, if you haven't already, connect with each other through Messenger or text, whatever it is. Get together. And what you're going to be doing throughout the week is you are going to be screenshotting your little bubbles when you've completed them 5 days out of the 7 of the week. You're going to be screenshotting those to each other to keep each other accountable. And I want to be very clear of what this group is for. So if you've joined this 90-day challenge, it means that you have skin in the game because you had to pay for Teamzy. Okay. You also are doing this because you want a switch. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel like you can't get parties. Maybe you feel like whatever it is, you're in this because you want to grow and you want something to change. So we put you with somebody that you will help you keep you accountable because we know that you want it. And that's why you're here. And so it's really going to help. Caitlin and I are a part of a Teamzy boot camp right now. That's like another big training on Teamzy with the founder of Teamzy. And we have another lady who's not even on our team in Zaya. And we're called success partners, and it's super helpful. We just send each other like, okay, done for the day, whatever. Or we even like send each other messages like, oh, how should I respond? Things like that. And it's really, really helpful.
Because everyone has different ideas and like other like outlooks too. So like if you send them like an example, they might be able to help you from their perspective or something like that. But it also keeps you accountable because they're going to push you. And when they get their stuff done, you're like, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be not getting any of my stuff done,
Yeah.
But we also can like be honest with each other. Like we've reached out and we're like, man, I need some encouragement. I'm really struggling trying to get my stuff done today. And they're like, all right, let's go. You got to get it done, at least, half of it or whatever, like send us your progress so you can cheer each other on, which we all really need because life happens.
Right.
So,
and we didn't pair any of you with any like uplines or anything because we don't want you guys to coddle each other. We want you to push each other. So if you're like, hey, have you done your, it's 10 o'clock, it's 10 p.m. Hey, have you done your Teamzy today? Or you have one more day this week to do it. When are you going to do it? And they're like, oh, I'm just tired. Don't be like, oh, you're fine. No, say you need to do it. You paid for this program. You want to grow. Let's go. And you can even share each other maybe what your goals are out of this for 90 days. What do you want to see? Is it a mindset change?
Yeah.
Is it just hoping to see momentum and connecting with people? So that's what the partners are for. So reach out to them if you have not before Monday and get your little group started.
It's like a little, I want to like call it like insurance on Teamzy for yourself. So like you're going to be the person that has to put in the work, but then you have a little insurance on the side that's going to help you push through, because like when you're having a hard time or something happens, it's going to be like, no, you still need to do it. You still need to get it done. And I'm here to make sure that you're going to get to your goals. And I'm here to support you and encourage you because I know when I'm going to need it, you're going to do that for me.
Yeah.
So you guys are just like that little insurance on the side to help each other.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Okay, so then really quick, we're just going to talk about what we're expecting from you guys out of this 90 days that we're doing this. Like we said, you're doing it 5 days out of the 7. So like today, I didn't do Teamzy. Tomorrow, I'm not doing Teamzy, except maybe a couple here that we'll do tonight with you. But that's kind of how I normally run it anyways, because I, first of all, don't believe in burnout. Second of all, this program is set up for 5 out of 7 days. So you don't have to worry about it.
And it feels really good when you take a 2-day break.
Yep.
Like I know that on Monday morning when it comes around, I feel refreshed and I'm ready to get going again. And I don't feel guilty that I took 2 days off.
Right. Or if you work the weekend or something, okay, well then work during, the week or if you work during the week, I'm sorry, then work on the weekend, whatever it has to be, you make it work for yourself. So you have to complete all 90 days to get into that final prize at the end. And if you really want to be proud of yourself, don't quit. But I want to be very clear, and we'll share a little bit more about this when we get on to the section about what shares are and how to share on Teamzy. But I want to be clear that your shares do not have to be completed every single day. And we'll talk more about that, but your little share bubble does not have to be completely closed or closed at all in order to complete your 90 days. But the prospects and the customers need to be closed for you to get to the end and get into that final project.
And we'll show you in the back office when I share my screen, a little after some of this stuff that we're talking about. We'll show you what we mean by all those little bubbles, and what needs to be filled out and what doesn't. And the reason we say the shares part not needing to be filled out every time is because we're working on building trust and relationship. And if we push those relationships to a share too fast, it doesn't look authentic, and it's more self-serving. And we don't want to self-serve. We want to serve them. And so that means building trust, getting to know them and what they need. So if we're sharing like the next day that we talk to them, that's self-serving. So we don't want you pushing shares if it's not time. If you're scared, well, then you do need to share if it's more of a fear-based thing. But we don't want you pushing shares if it is not the right time.
Yeah, and we'll talk a little bit about when it is appropriate to share. We'll talk about that soon. So now we're just going to go into why Teamzy. Why are we doing this? Because this approach is relationship marketing, and we are trying to get away from the go for no approach, because the direction of this, these type of companies are switching and changing, and it's not, let's just cold message 100 people and see who responds. First of all, people are going to burn out that way. Like you'll burn out that way. You'll feel it's discouraged, and it's a selfish way to do things. So I'm going to name 3 problems for the go for no. And 1, it's self-centered. 2, it damages personal relationships. And 3, it gives this business a bad reputation. So when you are just going for no, like I'm going to reach out to every single person I possibly can think of and more, and all the no's that they say, it doesn't matter. I'm just going for that one yes. Well, it means you really don't care about them. You're serving yourself. You are probably going to damage some relationships because the people that don't appreciate you just spamming them with a message. Because I know that I've gotten them and I do not appreciate them. It really makes me upset. And I don't appreciate like the way they do it either. And then because of that, gives our business a bad reputation. And then people put us in that category. And so when they hear about Zaya or they're like, oh, you're one of those people. And I don't want to be that. I want to be, serving people in the right way. So versus, can I share an example of,
yes,
a lady just did this with me on Instagram. And yes, I've done things like this, but not this bad. So this girl follows me on Instagram. She's a friend with me for 2 days. She likes a couple of my posts. She asks where I'm from. I tell her, and then we didn't really have any other conversation. Then she saw one of my stories talking about I was talking about having ADHD paralysis and how like some days I'm just like, feel like I can't do anything. And all of a sudden she just jumps in with this whole spiel about her products and how they'll help me. And she doesn't even tell me her company. She doesn't even say like, she doesn't even like share ingredients, nothing. She just like, they're this much and I would pay for you actually. And she's sending me all this stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, if she would have just appropriately spent some time to get to know me and maybe even connect with me, I would respond a whole lot differently. And I just, I wasn't mean, but I just said like, not interested. I'm already taking some great products for certain things. And unless you send me direct research, how this will actually help with ADHD paralysis, which I don't think it will, because it's a whole other thing on its own. Not interested, but she literally sent me like PDF files and like all this stuff. And she never got to know me. And now that relationship is I'm done. Like I have no reason to connect with her anymore. And she ruined that. And so that is a go for no approach. That is not a good way to do it. And I'm sure we have done it. How many of us have spammed people with our sales, holiday sales? I go back now when these messages pop up and I cringe because I'm like, wow.
Well, and I was a really big go for no person. I was like, it's not right now type of person. That was my mentality for, at first, like 2 years when I first started. And because of COVID, it worked because everybody needed something, but it wasn't because I think it truly worked. And I think then once COVID resolved in a way and everyone went back to work, everything went back to normal and our approaches weren't working anymore because they were self-serving, and people were seeing that a lot more. So the go for no versus now relationship marketing. What is that? The three things and how that's going to help us. It's others focused. So it's focused on other people and who they are, what they need. Builds and deepens relationships. And then 3, builds your reputation as a trusted pro, passionate about helping others. So this is super important because it's going to deepen that relationship. And Joelle and I were talking about with that girl, say that I was the one that reached out to Joelle and told her about those products. She would have reacted to me completely different with the same product, same thing, because she knows me, she trusts me, I care about her. I'm not going to tell her to go buy something that's not going to help her. You know, why would I do that? That is the difference. And so that is where we're trying to get with relationship marketing, is to build a relationship where they trust us and that we are not going to suggest something that is not okay or right for them.
Right.
That we care about them, we want to get to know them. And even if they say no, they know that we still care about them. And that's where it's at. And so that is the difference between the go for no versus relationship marketing. And that's why relationship marketing is superior to the go for no. And that's why people, even at Summit, we had a lady that talked about this, that she is the one that builds relationships for 3 to 6 months. And then she goes and asks them about the rep opportunity. She has put on 80 people reps in what, a year and a half?
Personally sponsored
80 reps, because she builds the relationship first. She
Yeah.
does what Teamzy does. And she says for 3 to 6 months, I get to know this person and I build a relationship where they trust me and I'm not self-serving myself, I'm serving them. And then she goes for the rep opportunity and asks them when it's right. And when she feels
she's not going for people who are like, who feel like they have a lot, like all the time in the world. And, you know, she's like, because she's a mom, she has 5 kids, a set of twins, and she's also a therapist. And she's like, I'm literally talking to moms who feel like they can't make another day, like can't go through another day. And she's like, I'm helping people. And she has such a different approach to it. She connects with them, she gets to know them, and she truly believes that this opportunity will help them. And then she asks them because she cares about them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it's so when you're initially connecting with people here with Teamzy, when you're initially connecting with your prospects and some of your customers too, the whole point of it first is to just make their day. So there is a connect one script in your Teamzy, and we can look at that when we get into there with the scripts, but you're literally just making their day. Okay. Especially if they're a prospect, which means they have not purchased from you, they have not hosted. If they're a prospect, you're literally just connecting with them to make their day, hopefully starting a conversation with them. And if that conversation keeps going, keep it up. Okay. That's the whole point, because we want to build trust with them. It's very, very hard to sell things to people, whether it's product hosting or repping, to people that do not trust you. It's very, very hard. And that's what we're doing. We're building trust and we're caring about people. We're making their day. And we talk about the numbers, I guess.
And we know that our products are amazing and that they've helped us. You know, we know that our leggings are amazing. We know that our clothes have made a lot of women feel super confident in the items that they're wearing. We know that it's made a difference in people's lives. So bringing that passion into our conversations is important.
Right. And you have, you have clothes, you have the community, you have, if it's really financially helped you, like there's so many different ways to like, you know, view somebody and make me what they actually need help with, you know?
So there's just a few. I'm a numbers person. I love numbers. So I always have to see it in the numbers way of how it's going to work out. So, Eric, the founder of Teamzy, he said only 50% of people that you message are going to respond to you. So like when you are reaching out to people during the day, only 50% of those people are going to reach back out. You know, they might say something back, they might just like your message, but then there's a 50% of people that won't reach out, but you still made their day. They probably just never messaged you back.
Yeah, you're not ruining the relationship.
You didn't ruin anything. You probably made their day, but that's it, and that's okay. You made someone's day. That should make you have joy that you made someone smile, right? But then out of that 50% that do respond, only 30% will turn into a share. So saying like, whether it's the rep opportunity, a party, or the products. So that is basically 7 out of 10 will not be a share. So 3 people out of 10 of your connects in one day, if you're having 10 people in a day, will be a share. And then that's 21 people in 1 week that you get to share Zaya with in some way. Yeah, that's a lot, right? If you think about it, because like at first I was like, man, only 50% and then only 30% of those people will be a share. But if you like do the math, 21 people you get to share Zaya with in 1 week. That's the average of what you're going to be able to share once you get to the sharing point. Now, this isn't going to happen your first week of Teamzy normally.
It might because you might have a lot of follow-ups that you have not done.
Yes. I've had quite a few customers, or actually people that I've messaged that I've never talked to Zaya about with them, and they asked me about Zaya the first time I connected with them. And I've had that happen, but that's not like on average what's going to happen. So you just, when you get to the sharing point, you're going to have on average 21 people you're going to be sharing Zaya with when you build momentum. Yeah. So that's something you guys get to look forward to, is when you're building these connections, when you're building relationships with people, eventually you're going to be having 21 shares per week happening for you on average. And that could be more or less depending on how many connects you're doing a day. So on average, I have more than 10 connects in a day. But some people may not have more than 10. So then your average of how many shares you're going to have is going to be different. But this is just to get you guys thinking numbers wise, because sometimes in the beginning, you're like, okay, how long is it going to take? We're also in the long game. I want you guys to know we're in the long game here. This is not, in America, we are all about quick satisfaction. We need it right away. We need results right away. We need it now, and that is not how this is going to work for us. So you need to change that mindset right now.
Well, I like that Teamzy has completely switched our mindset out of scarcity. Yeah. Especially during like these promos, I used to get so stressed out, but now doing this system, like it's just naturally happening. And I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to do this and I need to get that. Like, it's just, I feel free because I see it working, and it's so good. So now let's talk about when is it appropriate to share? Okay. When is it appropriate to fill in that little share circle and get a share? The first thing is when you're having a conversation with somebody, especially if it's a prospect and they ask you how you're doing, this is a perfect opportunity, because if Zaya is a part of your life, you can actually just share like, hey, I'm doing well. I just got, maybe you're in Utah. I just got back from Utah from the company trip, whatever. Or maybe, I don't know, you just went on a nice run and, the leggings held up well, whatever way it is. If Zaya is a natural part of your life, it should be easy for you to talk about because it's a part of your life. And if it's, I want to say really quick, if it's challenging for you to talk about it, it's because you're making it about you and not them. Like if you feel embarrassed talking about it or you feel weird, it's because you're making it about you, not them. Yeah. So
I have an example of that where, because the more you share it, the more naturally it's going to come out. And I had a lady just talk to me the other day, on Instagram. She was asking me about my son, how he's doing because he broke his leg. And I said, he's doing pretty good, but it's very challenging right now because he's 24/7 care. And normally I run my Zaya business when he's either at school for 4 hours or he's a little distracted. But right now I don't get that time. So I'm really trying to figure out what to do with my hours during the day. And she's like, oh, wow, that would be really challenging. And I didn't ask anything from her. I just shared my life. I wasn't saying, do you want to sign up with Zaya because I know how to help you figure it out with struggles during the day. Like I wasn't like being spammy. I just truly was sharing how I'm struggling during the day with my son and Zaya business. And she didn't respond to me negatively. She just was like, wow, that would be really challenging. How are you managing that? You know, and she's like wanting to get to know how I'm managing that. And so that's just a little example of how to naturally share about Zaya, because it is part of your day.
Yeah.
You know,
Or if you have someone that's like, oh, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Super easy way to just bring that in there.
Yep.
So it's obviously when it's appropriate to share, when they ask you, that's obviously a good time. But let's talk about maybe what it looks like to when it's appropriate to share about like a party or a product, and then I can do that part again.
Okay. So, I would say for sure for customers, it's easier to share about products and parties because they already own Zaya. They've already bought from you. So you kind of already have that trust built where they know, how good the product is, but you still want to build that relationship with them as well. For a party, I guess, I don't remember what I was going to share.
So if one of your customers comes up in your Teamzy and you see that, okay, a good example, this happens all the time, where I ask them how they like the product, like I normally do, converse with them a little bit, and then I'm like, hey, would you like to have a party?
Yeah, that's what
and then they say like, not right now, I'm busy. Okay, well, put them in your follow-ups to contact them in 2 months or a month, whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they come back up, then you can, hey, like just reaching back out to you. But
Yeah.
so it's easier for a customer.
For the party, I was going to actually say too, with someone that you're having a natural conversation with, that you're getting to know, and they are talking about all the products that they want. Like they're just saying, man, I really want these items and I want this and I want that. And I just love all the things. And it's just so much, then you're like, well, how about I have a party for you? I throw you one and you can actually get all this stuff for like nothing, basically free and half off. Like it's super easy. So you got to pay attention to like when people are talking about they want things or they really like this item, but it's maybe a little out of the budget for right now. You're like, well, why don't we do a party? I'd love to help you get that for free, So just paying attention to those types of things when you're building relationships. And if they're a customer, they're already kind of talking about that stuff. But if they're a prospect, you just need to more pay attention till you get that share opportunity. Like if they've been commenting on your stuff or you've already had that opportunity to tell them about Zaya.
Yeah. So then I can just share really quick, maybe what it looks like to share about the rep opportunity. So whether this person is a customer or a prospect, I can tell you something that I'm doing right now, and I'm mainly doing on Instagram because I can find new people on Instagram a little bit easier right now through hashtags and stuff. But I have about 10 ladies right now that I am just talking to. And these could be past party hosts that you need to reconnect with. These could be people in your VIP group that love Zaya, but haven't, signed up, whatever it is, close friends, family, whatever. Like we talked about in the beginning, this girl from Summit who spoke, she said that she will talk to a person and connect with them for 36 months before she actually shares with them. And that's what I'm doing right now in my Instagram. I have about 1 more month of connecting with these 10 ladies I've been talking to. And I am just going to directly ask them. I'm like, hey, you've been on my heart. This is what I do. Are you interested in it? Because I feel like this could really help you, because I know that you need community like I do. Like you stay home with your kids, you're lonely. I know that you need this like I do. Like, let's talk about it. And so we just want to remind you guys that this is going to take a little time, and that's okay. We need to be patient. We need to have that long-term mindset versus that short scarcity, spammy approach to things like we had probably been doing. And just, I love something that the guy, Eric Johnson, who runs this program, said one time is be more interested in somebody than interesting. Yeah. So if you're having a conversation with someone, be more interested in them, ask them questions about their life, get to know them. And when we just send those spammy things, that's all we care about is ourselves. That's just being more interesting. And when someone asks how you're doing, don't send them 5 paragraphs about your life. say something like, bring up Zaya if you want to, whatever, and then ask them a question at the end. Leave it open-ended. Be more interested in them, which is so important. So, one last quick thing before we get on to a little bit of our live Teamzy training. Something that I've been doing since I've been doing Teamzy for about 2.5 months now. 1.5 months. Is when, and Kaylin does this too. When I have a party going on, so I'm starting a party on Monday. So the lady who I'm having a party for, I go in when she invites those people, and whoever accepts the invite that day, I will prioritize those people and put those people in my Teamzy and connect with those people first than the people who pop up in my Teamzy for that day. Because I want to right away connect with those people. I will manually add them because you have to. And then I will connect with them. And all I say is, hey, Rachel, thank you for joining Stephanie's party. How do you know each other? That's it. That's my small little script that I use. And they get back to me and I say, oh, we went to high school together. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. Like, you guys have been friends that long. Like, and I try to think of something to ask them, and if the conversation goes on, it goes on. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But they're in my Teamzy. I add them as a friend. They're in my Teamzy. And even if they do not purchase, I still have them in my Teamzy to when they come back up, I will reconnect with them and they will know where I'm from because I connected with them originally. Also, by the end of the party, if they had not ordered, when I reach out to them and say, hey, we're closing up so-and-so's party. Do you need help with anything? I would love to help you find something. We've already built some sort of a connection. So they trust me so that I can help them better. It's not just like reaching out and they don't see my stuff. So that's something that I wanted to share.
When you can continue the relationship, the one thing that I thought about that really is like crazy to me, all of the parties that I've had, the people that did not order, I have no communication with. But they were in the party, they saw stuff, and I could have been building relationships with all of those people. And I dropped the ball on all of those hundreds and hundreds of people because I only focused on the people that actually ordered. And I could be actually building relationships with people that maybe did need to order. They just didn't have enough information yet, or maybe they didn't know enough, or it was brand new, or financially they couldn't do it, but now they can. So there's so many things that with Teamzy in a party, just adding all those people, even if they don't order, and building a relationship with them could be life-changing for them, because you could help them in some way that maybe they don't even know yet because they weren't able to pay attention because it was their work weekend, and they couldn't pay attention. So they missed out in the entire thing, but you're still there reaching out to them and getting to know them as a person. So it's so important in your parties to prioritize every single person that will actually interact with you and talk with you, to put them into Teamzy and build a relationship, whether or not they purchase.
And something just like a little logistical thing. If I have a party, like I just started a party, right? I added at least 20 people into my Teamzy that day. So because I added 20 that day, I have 3 ads I need to do per day. If I don't get any more ads during the week, I'm okay, because I added 20 that day from a party. So just something to know, like, that's okay. If you have a party and you add 30 to 20 people, whatever, into your Teamzy, you can count that as your ads for the week as well, like per day, and count that up.
That's normally what I do. But
it is important to keep adding. So that's why it is important to keep getting parties, obviously. But there's other avenues. Like I'm doing it from Instagram right now. It's really, really easy to find people on Instagram because profiles are public and there's hashtags and all these things. And then if you are having a hard time, like right now, you don't have any parties and you don't know who to add, referrals are a really good thing. So if you're realizing that you're connecting with some customers that don't want to do a party, be like, okay, that's fine. I believe, is there a referral script inside Teamzy? There's actually a referral script inside of Teamzy that you can use, and referrals are huge. And if you can get that one person to connect you with somebody else, like via Messenger, talk to them, add them into your Teamzy, build relationships that way. So just a little logistical thing. So
let me share my screen. Should we just talk about the thing, what's required on our, what's required real quick before I undo this. Can you see this, Amy?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the the dashboard for Teamzy. Okay. What we're expecting you guys to have closed circles on for the 5 days out of 7 days in the week is prospects and customers. The representatives, you can change that to 0 or 1, depending how many you have under you. If you do not have many people under you, turn it to 0, because you do not need to reach out to your same rep every single day.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have that as a number. If you click the little edit box behind this little video chat here, you can edit it to 0 for reps. But I need to have 9 prospects and 6 customers reach out to in one day to have my bubbles filled. And with this is what you look at. For you, that's what we need you guys to be filling out 5 days out of 7 days of the week. Shares, like we said, only if it is presenting itself as natural and authentic and helping the person. This might not come right away. You might not get a share for a little bit, but don't not share because you're fearful.
Right.
But if you have the opportunity, share. And then this is where you're going to be adding people, adding, mine says I need to add 3 people in my 5 out of 7 days a week. If I have a party, obviously I'm not adding 3 people every day, because I had, 15 people added in that one day.
Yeah. And and just a little bit more of logistics for those who are not on here and need to watch this recording because you've never done it. You actually have to, so say Caitlin's going to message Becky. Okay. She's going to click select activity. If it's a Facebook message, she's going to type what she wants here to Becky. She's going to copy and paste it and then actually go into Facebook and message Becky. After she has done that, then she can hit this log connect and Teamzy will log it.
Yep.
If it is a share, she'll go down here and she'll click what type of share it is. Once she does that, Teamzy will automatically create a follow-up. You can customize the date if you would like. Follow-ups will always be here. So Caitlin has 11. She needs to get on it. And when you click that, it's really cool because it tells you all these dates and all these people to follow up with. And
wrong one, customers.
Oh, so, but then here's the scripts. Okay. These are really nice.
Yeah.
So
always try to customize it if you can though.
Right.
These are just to guide you on how to make someone stay.
But this is the one that I typically start out with is connect one. Okay. Obviously you're putting their name into it. You can copy and paste it. But there's so many great scripts that you can use, and you'll realize as you keep going, you'll customize them a little bit more.
Click on this one. This one's a really good one for your customers. When it's been a while, hey, it's been a while since I checked in with you. How are you? I hope all's great. Because with your customers, if you've dropped the ball on them, you've never followed up, or you haven't followed up in a long time, this is a great way to say, it's been a while since I checked in with you. How are you? Because you want them to know you care, even though you did drop the ball on them and maybe haven't followed up with them or whatever. So that one I really like for customers that maybe I haven't been very consistent following up with. And then up here.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just a quick question. Do you say, hey, I'm the Zaya rep that, blah, 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 but you don't even mention Zaya in that. Like, I don't know if some of my people would recognize me.
I haven't, Amy. If they have no idea who I am, they won't respond. And those will be those people who respond. Some people do respond because it's just they're like, wow, thank you so much. And then you can decide whether you want to continue conversation or not. But I don't, because it's my fault they don't know who I am. And I don't want to bring this eye up right away. So something else to mention is up here in these filters, if you click it, you can also do what type of person you're reaching out to right now. So let's click prospects. There's different scripts that come up here. Okay. There's different follow-up scripts, which I really, really like. I've used this one a lot. Follow-up one after I've asked them, I also use this for my customers too. Like if they haven't gotten back to me, if they want to do a party yet or not. But there's, these all go after each other. So, or like a reconnecting one. When you meet someone new, they're just really, really nice, and they're just proven to really work. So,
and they're just simple. We don't need to send 5 paragraphs to someone of, questions and whatever. We just need to be very authentic and say, hey, how are you? Hope you're having a great day.
Yeah, and something else Kayla and I do is we will go directly to their Facebook first. When their name pops up, I'll look at our messengers. Have we had messages? Where did it leave off? Type of thing. If not, or if have, I'll also just look what they've been up to.
Yeah.
What are some things I can comment on and post on in their page, just to get them like seeing like who I am again.
Yeah.
And then message them. But
I want to make sure they're not a Zaya rep as well, because I do follow people that are Zaya reps that are not my reps. So then I don't know that. I want to make sure they're not a rep when I reach out to them.
so
and
if
I
that's
also,
the case, you can delete them.
yep.
Over here where this number is, you click on it and you can delete.
Yep.
So I just delete all the mails unless they're a customer of mine. I don't need them.
You can delete anyone at any time. Say someone responds to you very negatively or very rudely, and you're like, well, I don't think I'm going to be building that relationship because they don't seem to want that. I'm just going to delete them out of Teamzy, you know, because I'm trying to build relationships with people that actually want to build a relationship with me too. So you can delete people if you feel like maybe that is not the right relationship to build. Or you don't want to build a relationship with that person because you know them and maybe it's not what you want. So you can delete people at any time. Don't delete them because of fear though. I'm just going to say that if you're scared because maybe they're a close friend or someone that you feel like they wouldn't want Zaya anyways, don't make that assumption, leave them in there.
Right.
The other thing that I was going to say, man, I don't remember what I was going to say.
I think maybe we should just stop recording and then.
Yeah, so we can stop recording here and then we'll just keep talking about some other things. If you guys have questions though, when you're watching this recording and you need help with figuring out how to share or how to find scripts, just reach out to Joelle and I, and we can help you with that.
Yeah.
So let me stop.
Question before you X out.
Yeah. We'll still be here with you. We'll still be with you, Amy.
I'm just going to stop recording.
We're just going to stop recording it.
Okay.